Well, welcome to The Whole Truth, where we speak to some of our faves and try and get them to tell us stories that we don't know, okay? Here we're really all about the gist because we already like your music. We already like the music, we like the sound, we like the videos. So what we just want to hear is some of those stories behind them. So we don't even mind if you start from right from the beginning. If you like, start from primary 2. We're just going to shut up and listen until we have questions.
Cool. Definitely.
So from the very beginning.
Very beginning, honestly, I think for Africa, the very beginning, actually, one of the things people didn't know was that my very first success, right, was in EDM, house music. A song called Follow You. This is a house DJ, this guy named, DJ Gromi. It's online, you can find it online. This was the biggest song in like Eastern Europe at the time. It's house music and stuff. And I actually got my first gold plaque. The song is platinum right now, but then it was gold, right? And I remember it was sent to me all the way from Poland to Atlanta, where I used to live there. When the plaque arrived, it was shattered. It was broken. This is the first time ever. Imagine receiving the first plaque and you open it and it's all glass, shattered, and I'm like, what kind of luck is this, right? But I told myself, honestly, I was like, this is first of many. You know, it was motivating for me. Fast forward, 2016, Shizzi just moved to Atlanta. And Shizzi was living like literally 3 houses from me. And I didn't know him at the time. And this was when David just got signed to Sony and they did the first Fader magazine cover. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah,
the very first
the winner. Yeah.
I remember that moment because it was a highlight for Afrobeats. It was the first time an Afrobeat artist was on a Fader magazine. That was when he first moved, and I was in Atlanta then. And a friend of mine, Kingsley, brothers, you guys want details and behind the scenes. Kingsley is brothers to the guy that owns that club. What's the name of that club? It's Nigeria.
In Lagos?
In Lagos, yes. I don't know much.
Escape.
Escape.
Escape. Okay, Escape.
No, Escape.
Was
Escape.
Richard?
Yes, Richard's younger brother.
Yeah.
Is the reason why we have that's the reason why we have Show You Off, because he lived in Atlanta as well, and me and known each other. He used to come by my studio just listen to music. And at that time I was really creating, most of the music I was creating was like Candy, Feel Right, Wishes and Butterflies.
All I Need.
That was, you said
that
what?
Style of music.
That's All I Need.
All I Need, yes. The songs with B.O.B., the hip hop records. I was writing country music, all these different. Some of these songs actually on my actual full album that comes later. Some of these songs I've been holding on to. And he was like, he ran into Shizzi at the gym and told Shizzi, like, oh, Shizzi, I think Shizzi was venting to him like, man, I'm trying to do something different, blah blah blah. And he told us like, yo, I know this weird guy. I need to introduce you to him, right? And he was talking about me. And he came by my house. He was like, yo, I have this producer I need to introduce you to. And we literally just came out of my house then and walked over. And Shizzi was there, met him. He played Show You Off the track, right? And I remember I was like, yo, this is, and prior to that, people have been telling me, do Afrobeats, merge Afrobeats. For me, I didn't feel like I had a reason to do it, and I didn't want to force it. And Show You Off was the very first Afrobeat song I ever tried in my entire life. Wow. And that song, initially, I took that Bamidele part, I took it out. I did it initially, and I played it for like Shizzi, Kingsley, and my brother at the time. And everybody loved the song. And when they came back the day after, guess what I did? I took the Bamidele, my Bamidele, the Yoruba part, I took it out. Bro, I took it out, right? Because I wasn't sure if I was ready to start speaking Yoruba on my songs. Right? I was a little bit like indecisive, and I was like, this. And I remember playing it again, and my brother and Kingsley and Wande Cole was at mine then too. Wande Cole heard the song before it came out, and I remember everyone was like, guy, where's the Bamidele part? Are you crazy? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know? And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put it back in there. And for me at that time, I had a song that everyone around me could not wait for it to come out. All my friends were like, yo, if you don't release this song immediately, I'm gonna come steal your laptop and I'm gonna leak this song. And that show you off. And I'm so blessed. That song brought me closer to Nigeria, to Africa. Because everyone, I would wake up in the morning and I would see like hundreds and hundreds of messages about the song. Shout out to Walshy Fire, because they helped, Major Lazer helped with the globalization of the song. And that was a blessing. You have to ask me questions so I can know where to start different points.
So was that when you made the decision to, because you had featured Trader James, B.O.B.,
Yes.
Fire, all these guys, like, and you were successful, like you said. So was that like, why the decision to like go the route of Afrobeat?
You know what? Honestly, it was the people, man. It was the fans. Do you know, imagine waking up every morning and you see like hundreds and hundreds of messages, more than everything else I did with other artists. Sometimes like B.O.B. would get most of the love, right? Trinidad James would get most of the love, and people were still learning me even in America. When I write a song for Mario, I'm not on the song, but he's the one singing the song. Do a song with Timbaland, people shouting Timbaland, but really at the end of the day, I'm getting my credit behind the scenes. But for the first time, I felt, and before that, I felt very distant to the Afrobeat culture. For the first time, I felt the love from home, and honestly, it was the best feeling. Imagine just living in America for so long, right? And working in that space for so long, and finally, like, you know, home is calling, and people at home is like, are really, really celebrating you. It was the best feeling. It was better than every other feeling that I was getting. And I had a conversation with someone around that time, and I noticed some of the artists that I was in love with, they had their cities behind them, you know? And for me, I decided then I don't want the success. No matter how far I go, I don't want a success without my city and my people behind me. And, you know, I think it's a better feeling for me.
So how was the transition? Okay. How was the transition moving from, I think, Atlanta to Lagos and connecting with the creatives here in Nigeria? How was the transition for you?
You know what? It was gradual. I connected with Spinall on Lifetime. Spinall, actually, it's crazy. So going back, I love Girls with Trouble. I was actually working on I Love Girls with Trouble and Love is Contagious at the same time. But every time I got into the room and worked with Sarz, I would have a certain mentality of the type of songs I want to create for that project. And when I was doing Love is Contagious, I had a very specific idea of the sound I wanted for Love is Contagious. That's why Love is Contagious has a very zen feel, very worldly, very peaceful. I call it my world peace, right? And Love Goes with Trouble is world trouble, right?
Okay.
And and I was working on both projects simultaneously because 5 of the songs, one thing you don't know, 5 of the songs on I Love Girls with Trouble was recorded in 2017. I'll tell you the songs. 5 out of the 7 songs, because one of them was Trouble was recorded in 2017, and I recorded Lifetime with this DJ Spino record around the same time when I did Trouble. I think Lifetime came first a week before, and Trouble happened a week after. Prisoner was done in 2017. Sade was recorded 2017. Ego was recorded 2017. Focus was recorded 2017. The only 2 songs that we added to update the project was Sweat and Mad.
Mad.
Bangers.
Yeah.
All bangers.
And also, Blow My Mind was recorded. I recorded Blow My Mind in 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like
the original version
before, 2 years before.
Yeah.
I'll Blow My Mind story. Oscar, we have to like explore that story.
Because I'm actually curious as to what the original sounds like now.
I played it on a video chat that I did with Shizzi. I don't want to keep playing it, but it's love. I played it because me and Shizzi had this thing. We did a takeover. We did a takeover for what's that thing called? One of these platforms where we're talking about different stuff, and we're just talking about different music, and we're like, let's play this song. We played it, actually, the original version. Exactly, honestly, it's exactly what you hear today. So nothing changed. Same lyrics, same melody, same, because it was my song originally. So the beautiful part, actually, was the fact that when I created in 2017, I left my second verse open. And the second verse is the part Chris Brown came on, right? And I remember I sent it to Mr. Easy to do the second verse in 2017. And he liked it, but it just took too long to get back to me. Wande Cole had it, and I think he did something on it, but he never sent it to me. Wande Cole had Blew My Mind. He did a second verse to it. He didn't send it to me. Nonso Amadi had it. Runtown had it. And honestly, 2019, she just called me when I was promoting Love is Contagious. Like, yo, bro. And I already kind of like, almost kind of like put it in my archive. Like, I'll get back to the song when it's time. And he called me. He was like, guy, David loved this song. And, you know, what do you think about this? Chris Brown loves the record, blah, blah, blah. And it was different from my original idea, you know? Because now I had to let go of my verse, David, to do it. So for me at the time, it's like, God, I don't know about that, bro, you know? And we went back and forth for a little bit. And honestly, it was my spirit, my energy at the time, you know, made it okay to co-sign it. I'm glad I did, because at the time I'd had this song back in my archive. It was another song that I had sitting, and I didn't have an immediate plan for it at the time. And the song went and became one of the biggest songs last year. Like, probably one of the best African American collaboration that's ever been made.
Collaboration. Yeah.
So that's how you let the song go.
You know what? Yeah. So it took a lot of back and forth. Actually,
you get that moolah for it.
You know what? Business was done. You know, the best way it could be. It could have been better, but at the end of the day, I made a decision because I was that one person that was in between the song never coming out, or do you know what I'm saying? I was that guy. I was
David and Chris Brown collaboration.
Yeah.
Yes, I was the person standing between all that and the excitement that everybody had. But you know, you know what? My spirit let it go, because at the time I was like, this is one of many songs I have, and I didn't believe this is the best music I'm going to create. And I was like, you know what? This is for the culture. This is me contributing, for the, you know, to the culture.
Let me just rewind selector a bit. Your hair, it's like, when did you make the decision to go purple? Like, to get this?
It's blue. It's blue.
It's blue.
Today, I think the light is hitting.
I'm colorblind. I'm wearing glasses.
Hey, guys, all you guys are wearing glasses. But
the time you met Shizzi, was your hair blue when you met Shizzi?
No, it was black. So I went blue right before Show You Off video, which was amazing, by the way. Yeah, right before, it was like a month before Show You Off video. This was December 2016 was when I went blue. And I've been blue since then, actually. It's wow, geez.
Let me a Chelsea fan.
I'm not. I hate that team. Don't mention Chelsea here. I'm a Barcelona fan. I'm a Barcelona fan for life.
No way.
So new album. Okay, talk, Oscar. I think there's something.
Because I know he had this gig sometime 2018 in Lagos.
Yeah.
He had a concert on, and it was, you know how, it's that kind of thing where it's almost like the whole of Lagos was there, but it was still like niche. So it wasn't like the whole population of Lagos went for the show, but it's like everybody we knew in the industry, all your friends, entertainment, everybody was on that show, and they were talking about it. That's when I figured out that Wurld was such a big deal. So was that your first time doing something major, or was it just from streaming, from music online that people were riding with your stuff like that?
You know what? It was a series of different things. You know what? I think people have been following me since Show You Off, and I didn't come to Lagos till like 2018, almost 2 years afterwards, after Show You Off. I didn't come to Lagos 2 years after, and the song was already big for the entire 2017. I didn't realize how big it was. I knew it was big, but I didn't realize how impactful it was until I came on ground, and I would I will talk to like, I'll go to like radio stations and OAPs will be like, bro, I play this song and people, imagine going to every radio station and every OAP is telling you that like, you know what, I play the shit out of this song. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And for me, I think people were following the journey and trouble happened. It was another light started with trouble, right? People went from Show You Off and started going like trouble. And Love is Contagious happened. And it was like people were getting to, it was very new. Love is Contagious was so new, it was so different that it took people time to gravitate towards that. But Ego dropped at the same time. Blew My Mind happened, but I never really publicly mentioned that it was my song.
I mean, it was clear, it was obvious.
We could feel the fact, the word vibe on it already.
It was obvious.
We knew already.
Yeah, I didn't go publicly about it. I posted it, but I didn't go publicly about it as for anything because I knew the sensitivity of how the African audience received it.
Yeah, the writing for people stuff.
Yeah, and I was actually, you know, something crazy. I actually was I was going through a lot during that Love is Contagious project because the project fell under as far as the expectations that we had for it.
Sales wise.
Visibility wise, a lot of people didn't see that project. The marketability of it went under, and it was really my core. And it was like, you know, like something, you know, you do marketing for something and people don't see it. And people, it's like when people don't see something on the masses, it's only the niche underground crowd that was really talking about it. And it became a one man movement to where that takes longer for you to see a project. You know. That really, that kind of like got me in the weird space. But you know what? I was focused because I knew trouble was coming at the end of the year, and I knew that like I knew how commercial the project was, and the project we made it to be commercial. Love is Contagious. I didn't make it to be commercial. I really wanted people to see a broad spectrum of me. Wishes and Butterflies, when it won that award, I was actually very happy. It made me believe again in African music, in the audience and the listeners, because I know there's a future for. You can imagine how many artists were motivated and inspired by me winning that. You know,
yeah, true.
That was special, not just for me. Knowing that it's going to empower more artists that do real music, that are real vocalists to keep pushing and not feel like they need to change their vibe to be accepted. But yeah, it's crazy. Sweet in the Middle was interesting because it was actually, that was my song as well, with Shizzi again, and same situation. And you know, shout out to David on that record, because the A&R and he did, when he hit me up, he was like, yo, Shizzi played me this other record, guy, let's do it together. You know? It was a no-brainer. I was like, you know what?
When he said I was going to put Zlatan and Nayamali, were you like, how is that going to work?
That came later. You know what? The initial was like me and David, and he wanted to get an international artist on it. I think it didn't work out. And he hit me back. He's like, yo, I got Nayamali and Zlatan on this song. Guess what? I loved what it sounded like, because for the first time, I like things that are different on orthodox things. And you know, for the first time, you hear artists like me with David and Zlatan and Nayamali. This is the first time it's ever been done in the history of this Afrobeat stuff. Those type of different style of artists on the same record, and people were waiting, and it worked. And guess what? Now you can imagine how many more people are going to think. Now you can think of having a drill on a song with somebody else. I hope he does it, because it's possible. But it's really about knowing how to do it. You know, that was special for me because I knew that the record was a gem. You know, and I'm glad it worked out the way it did, because you know it's first of its kind. You know, actually, fast forwarding, Sweet in the Middle and Story for my newest project, Afro Soul. I actually created those two songs with Shizzi on the same day. Sweet in the Middle and Story on the same day. So, backstory.
Tunde, so let me just give him this question before you go to the new album. It's amazing that you actually work with two of the best Nigerian producers. You have great synergy with them. But I think like it'd be a travesty, like if we actually round up this interview without you talking about how you met Sarz, because like that's a pairing together, Sarz and Wurld. I feel like it's something made in heaven. So please tell us how you guys met.
You know, I met Sarz through my business partner, Koch. We met in LA, actually. I remember at this time, this was in 2017. So this was even before I started coming to Niger, right? And the only song I knew of Sarz then, Don't Laugh at Me, was Come Closer, because that was the only international track that I knew, because I was more on that side. Don't laugh at me.
You didn't jam Niger songs at all.
I did. I knew the popular songs. At the time, I only knew the popular songs, because the popular songs is what you hear in the clubs or on like platforms, or you see people tweeting about it more. That's the privilege. But things are different now because Afrobeats is a lot more impactful in different parts of the world. But at the time, that was the only song I knew. And Come Closer was playing on the radio in America. And when we met, I didn't even know his discography till maybe later, honestly. No, for real. But yeah, Come Closer was enough for me to when we had the meeting and sat in the studio. I was playing him a lot of songs. Some of those songs are probably not. Some of those songs actually going to be in my album when it drops, right? The only song I played for him that came out is Feel Right and Wishes and Butterflies. But I played a whole bunch of just weird next level shit, right? Very alternative music, very pop music, very singing, like very Wishes and Butterflies, a lot of big vocals, right?
Yeah.
A lot of big vocals, and like I'm talking about like just Grammy type vocals and stuff like that. Which those are like some of those vibes you're gonna hear in my actual full album. And he played me a whole bunch of tracks, and he played me Trouble, the track. And it was like, oh, I have this track. He played a whole bunch of stuff. He's like, I have this track, I just made it. And I think he made it before he was coming to meet me. And it was just a scratch. Trouble has a very simple instrumental, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not finished with the track, blah, blah, blah. And he played it. And I love the simple elements in it. And I took the track from him. And immediately, I went to the studio, did Trouble. The next day, I told him to come by the studio, and I played it for him.
Was that the first time you guys recorded?
Yeah, first song ever. Trouble was the first song we ever did. Okay. And I played it for him. He had nothing else to say about it. He was like, wow, okay. The song was done. And at that time, an incomplete track that he thought he had felt complete with the song that I added, which is Trouble, right? And we left that song pretty much the way it was, as simple as it was when he played it for me, because it felt good and it didn't need anything else. The rhythm was perfect. I remember the day after that, that night, I played that song all night, right? And I think he did the same thing too. The next morning, we had a conversation, and we decided to do a joint project together. And for me, it was an opportunity for me to keep feeding my Show Your fans, the people that were loving, and showing me a lot of support back home. And I didn't want to leave them behind with my journey. Honestly, that's how my whole Afrofusion started, because now people are loving it, and I can't just leave them alone. Yeah. It's kind of like, do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's unfair for me to just like leave them hanging. Fast forward, that's why I did Afro Soul, and it's more in depth. If you guys notice, if you have listened to it, Afro Soul is a lot more in depth. I'm speaking a lot more Pidgin, because I speak Pidgin fluently, and I speak Yoruba fluently too. So for me, I needed to get that out. I needed to define my Afrobeat fusion, because it's not Afro pop. Some of it maybe, but it's more Afro soul because there's a lot of soul in and a lot of truth in what I try to convey vocally and conversation wise as well. So yeah, and honestly, it was amazing working with Sarz because we kept pushing each other. If you guys notice, we were going bars and vocals for beats and instrumentals on that record, on that project.
True.
You know what I'm saying here? Mine was crazy because
you gotta practically showing off, man. You gotta just practically just
so
flexing on everybody.
And also, there were some songs that I loved a lot that were more vocal, right, than instrumental. And Sarz, I don't like that. I don't like that song. And I knew why I didn't like it because the beat was not on the level he wanted to.
Yeah.
He's very competitive. He doesn't speak much, but highly competitive, and I am too. But we knew when to stop. We knew when to keep it in the middle to where everything flow, like was just seamless at the same time. Yeah. Shout out to Sarz. Amazing. One of the most amazing producers I've ever worked with.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So on Ghost Town, I read, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, that now that you're getting like all this attention, like a lot of people have started drawing away from you. Like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I'm learning that.
A lot of people like who? What kind of people?
You know what? Let me tell you this. You know what it is? It's interesting. I feel like, so Ghost Town, I actually created Ghost Town during that moment I talked about Love is Contagious.
Yeah.
Right? The numbers and expectations weren't catching up to everything. And a lot of people left me like, just whatever. You know what I'm saying? At the time.
All your babes.
No, not my babes. My babes always been loyal.
Okay.
But to be honest, I think it was just the people, you know, like you have people rallying up with you to work with you and stuff, and things are not moving as fast as it wanted to be, and everybody just give up on you and just leave you alone to just whatever. People stop picking up calls. People stop caring to what you're doing and everything. And I felt the highs and lows immediately of what it feels like to be hyped and to be not hyped, or to be loved and to be left alone at the same time. Because it becomes a ghost town, right? It's like a rich man. So ghost town is deeper. I'm gonna break it down a little bit.
Okay.
So it's like a rich man that has all the money in the world, and all of a sudden something happens. Guess what? Everybody disappears. It becomes a ghost town.
True.
It's like a successful artist. A lot of artists go through this. You can imagine some of the greatest artists you guys know. You see them sometimes, you're like, what happened to this guy? Is he okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, success and the money falls low, and it becomes a ghost town, yo. Like, it's wild. And I created that song, I think March of last year. Around April of last year in Lagos. And that was the feeling I was feeling. But I was still focused on, I had a very strong idea. I've always had an idea of where I'm going with the music, right? I know what my songs sound like at the end of this year. I know what it sounds like next year already, right? Because I already have frameworks of these songs, and some certain songs I can't release it yet because people be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, right? So I hold those ones till it's time. Those songs they're time now. It's time now. I can do those things now. I think I've made all the statements I needed to make with the initial 3 projects. And at that time, if you guys notice, the first lines on Ghost Town is losing, never lost time. No, losing, never lost sight. Losing, never lost sight. That was where that motivation came from. I'm losing right now, but I never lost sight of where I'm going.
Yeah.
Learning, never lost time, because it's bigger than even myself. Because you learn a lot of things by either relationships or work, friendship, disappointments. You learn, but you don't lose time because you learn from those things, right? And I went on and started talking about vengeance, like an eye for an eye. But really, the concept of that is really like that. I observe a lot. I learn things a lot. I've never been the guy that's like pay evil with evil. You know, sometimes I know someone that's very close to me that tried to pay evil with evil, and he spent a lot of his time and years, successful person, older, spent a lot of his years focusing on trying to let some other people down and lost track of his own life and career. You know what I mean? It's like someone does something bad for you. Success is the best response. Not trying to do bad, because you lose track of your own life and you end up in a ghost town, because now your whole career and your whole thing is fucked up because you're focusing on somebody else and you want them to lose, but they're not losing. They keep, because they're focused on their stuff, regardless of whatever happened. You know, seeing your neighbors win, but it brings you down. Trying to chase the fame, but you end up burning out. Why do someone always trying to steal my light? Because that's something that everybody can relate to at some point. You know, it's such a crazy world that we live in, and I'm like, the only thing that's true is like my mama always prayed that I make it home tonight, make it home alive. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, that song is too, like, I went bar for bar. So what?
I said beautifully written.
Thank you, thank you. And I think the hardest part was keeping this conversation and keeping it fun at the same time. I remember when callers reached out to me, they reached out to me because of Love is Contagious. Not even I Love Girls with Trouble. Love is Contagious was their favorite. And I understand why, right? Because the conversation and Love is Contagious is more broad, right? I Love Girls with Trouble has a very African depth to it.
Yeah.
Right? And they reached out like, yo, we love what you did with Love is Contagious, the theme, we love your cover art. We kept going, and we'd love to do something with you. And I sent them 3 songs. I sent them Love Nobody, Ghost Town, and another song that's on my album in the near future.
When is this album coming out?
I don't have a date for it yet, but before you guys start missing me, it's gonna come out.
Okay.
Cool.
I think that's fair enough, right?
That's fair enough.
Yeah. And they came back. It was like, we love Ghost Town. I mean, it's crazy. This was in March. I recorded the Colors thing in March, and the pandemic already started. And I was in Germany. I could barely even go anywhere. Even when I went to the Colors office, there was only 4 people working. They sent all their workers home. It was risky as hell. Like, I was actually in Germany at the hot time when this thing was crazy. Thank God I didn't get sick, bro. I was supposed to be in Germany for like 6 days. I got a message from US that there was no flights coming in from Europe, so I couldn't even go back to America. I changed my flight to London. I tried to get on a flight from London. It was kind of crazy. I just rerouted my stuff to Nigeria. That's why I'm in Lagos, and I'm glad I'm in Lagos because I had a chance to sit still and finish Afro Soul. Yeah.
Great.
The meeting is about to end, guys.
Okay.
So do we want to join again? I think we've got.
You want to wrap up? Do you have what you need, IK?
Yes, I think we do.
Afro Soul is out right now. Yeah, definitely. Are you guys good?
Thank you very much, Wurld.
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much, guys. Can't wait till we sing together again, bro. And
for sure.
You should bring all your babes out. I'm going to have enough for me, so don't worry.
All right. All the babes are coming out.
Yes. Let's make it happen. Looking forward to it, guys.
Right,
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love.